And it looks like we are ready to play some ball. My name is Taylor Storthy, and welcome to the Elmira Pioneers broadcast. Tonight, your Elmira Pioneers take on the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. The Pioneers enter this game at 3-6, while the Tarp Skunks, coming off a defeat, enter this game at 6-4. We're back at historic Dunn Field, the third time these two teams have faced this season. Game 1 they faced at home here at Dunfield, where the Tarp Skunks got the victory. And Game 2 was on the road in Jamestown, where I nearly got hit by a foul ball. But for now, we've got the Pioneers and Tarp Skunks getting ready to get underway. We can tell you how the Pioneers line up on defense. Mike Sokol and Lucas Berube form the battery. Joe Muzio returns to the field at third base. Joe Olsovsky is at short alongside Chris Barrett second. Frank Wayman is over at first. Bobby Marsh is back in left field. Cooper Smith in center field. And Kyle Shimilewski in right field. The three due up this inning for Jamestown are Martinez, Tucker, and Dorrell. And with that, we're just about ready to get underway. With warm-ups concluding. Your Pioneers are wearing their gray home uniforms, while it's an all-black look tonight for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Martinez steps into the batter's box, and we are ready to get underway. Here's Martinez ready to go. He's, of course, the leadoff man. And ready for that first pitch from Mike Sokol. Tried squaring up with a bunt, ball one as he pulls away. The 1-0 is taken, ball one a bit low. Two-0 count. Just outside, ball three. Martinez getting ahead early. Hitting .222 for the season in 27 at-bats. Strike one. That one on the inside corner. (3-1) for Martinez. And ball four. Gets on after 5 pitches. Tucker comes up with a runner aboard. Sokol entering this game 0 for 1 with the 1.80 ERA, 7 strikeouts through 10 innings on 2 starts. He's now able to get ahead of Tucker. Sokol has had 2 great outings to start the season with the Pioneers. Fortunately, those were back when the Pioneers still were winless. He's looking to turn his fortunes around tonight. You could argue he's one of the best in the entire staff for the Pioneers, and I'd say that resume backs it up. Apart from Tristan Champa, you could argue that he really is the best. 2, as he's only trailing behind Champa in just a few of those categories. Trailing behind in ERA and with 5 less strikeouts. That's going to be a line drive down the line, base hit. Running back is Shimilewski. He's going to be waved on to third and held up. Runners at the corners as Shimilewski brings it back in. The first hit of the ball game is a single that gets Martinez to third. Doral up with 2 aboard. No one out. Slow start for Sokol. Durrell up now. Durrell hitting 300 for the season. 6 hits, 5 runs batted in. He's now ahead of the count, 1-0. Durrell's a dangerous hitter, but O'Shaughnessy on deck. He's got 5 RBIs. Not sure if you want to bring that 4-hitter up with the bases loaded. Probably going to want to try to just get him out and try to get a ball in play. Trust your defense. But to see what happens here. 1-0. Runner goes. Berube throws to second. And that one gets behind, and that'll bring home the first run of the game. And that's always a tricky situation. Do you try to stop the runner, or do you hold on to it and keep it safe? And most of the time, you do want to keep it safe. But that time, he ultimately tried to throw to second, and when it slipped into the outfield, it allowed Martinez to stroll on home. Now 1-1. Now it's going to be grounded up the middle. Osofsky picks it up. That'll be out number 1. It does get the runner to third. O'Shaughnessy up with 1 away. The Tarp Skunks were able to beat the Pioneers on June 12th, their last PGCBL game, and a 9-3 victory. Travis Perry went a total of 7 innings and nearly 3 perfect. A very good outing from him to get his first win of the season. Elmira looking to come back, but slow start, already 1 run home off that error from catcher Lucas Berube. Fouled back. 0-2 count now. So O'Shaughnessy. That one's going to be driven, but foul down the right field line. Had a shot of being fair, but stays foul. Oh, 2. Just outside, ball 1. One, 2. Here's Sokol. Fouled backward. And that one getting close to the booth. Shaughnessy's staying alive. Five strikeouts to 3 free bases, meaning hit by pitches and walks. Trying to see if Sokol can get number 1 of the game right here. That's grounded to first. Runner going home. No chance to get him out. Wayman makes the easy play at first. So it's an RBI there from Shaughnessy. 2 away now for Chris Bay. Base is empty. It's one of those grounders that is just too hard to try to make a play at the plate for. Two-way, here's Bay. Ball 1. That one's lined up the middle. Smith running in and not able to come up with it. Was a tricky diving play, but he stays in front of it to force it to only be a single. 2 away, runner off first for McGee now. McGee making his debut with the Tarp Skunks. Runner goes, throw from Berube, this time on target, and the inning is over. 2 runs come home on 2 hits with an error, and after that caught stealing, no one was left aboard. Disappointing start for the Pioneers. Apart from the runner that got caught, both runners were able to get all the way around the base paths, one mean or another. Pioneers have a chance to respond in the bottom of the first inning. Right after this, I'm Taylor Storworthy, and you are watching Pioneer Baseball. We are back at Stuart Dunn Field for the bottom of the first inning. Hopefully that zoom in helps just a little bit. And by the way, here are the lineups for your Elmira Pioneers. Leading off, Joe Olsovsky, followed by Chris Bear, Frank Wayman, Bobby Marsh, Cooper Smith, Joe Muzio, Kyle Shimilewski, Jay Vaughn, Lucas Berube. Oh, and also in the middle there, Johnny Wall. One-0. Olsovsky sending that to left field, but it should be playable. Catch is made, first out, recorded by Dorrell. Chris Bear comes up with 1 out. So Chris Bear has been able to do very well in the most recent games, really getting himself into the lineup. Ball 1 a bit high. One-0. Ball 2 now. Bear getting ahead. Strike one taken. Entering this game, Chris Bear has a .417 average in 12 plate appearances. That's the best average for anyone on your Elmira Pioneers with over 10. Swing and a miss that time, 2-2 count. Gladys on the mound for the Tarp Skunks. Enters the game with a 9 ERA, 3 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 3 strikeouts to 2 walks. That one in the dirt. Bear held up. They double check over at first. Count goes full. Wayman, Marsh, Cooper Smith, and Muzio. You could argue those are the big four for batting for the Pioneers. Batting 3 through 6. That'll be a tough test for Gladys. And Bear is able to get aboard with a walk. That'll bring up Frank Wayman with 1 out. After being absent for the team a little bit, start of the season, Wayman's really broken into the starting lineup, being consistent middle of the order bat with some real power behind it. Similar role to Bobby Marsh, Wayman also taking over first base duties full time. 1 away, 1 on. Fouled back. Wayman hitting .231 in 13 plate appearances. But notably for Wayman, he already has 3 RBIs in those plate appearances. That one's in the dirt. Bear going to stay, ultimately indecisive, 1-1. Last night, the Pioneers faced it off against Mansfield in an interleague game, and after conceding 1 run in the first inning, they responded with 2 of their own in the bottom half. Wayman's got a chance to try to bring 2 home, or at least 1, or help the team to try to get those runs flowing. He's going to drive that one to left field. Durrell should get under it. He does. 2 away. Bear just strolling back to first. Bobby Marsh comes up with 2 outs. If there's one thing we know about Bobby Marsh, is that he can hit some clutch at-bats. Early in the season, he had a clutch RBI triple, and also recently, after the first win, when the Pioneers took on the Newark Pilots, he took one all the way off the slanted wall in right field for an RBI double. We'll see what Marsh's power can give him right here. 2 outs, runner on first. Runner goes. The throw to second. Gets behind. Bear's just going to stay at second, though. He gets a stolen base. The aggressive call works here, as Marsh down 0-1 after that was called a strike. Pretty big at bat for your Pioneers. Marsh has got a runner in scoring position. A hit would most certainly bring Bear home. Try to cut that deficit down to 1. Fouled away. 0-2 now for Bobby Marsh. Marsh has hit well this season, alongside 4 RBIs, but notably he also has 6 strikeouts, among the leaders on the team in that category. He wants to avoid getting his 7th of the year right here. Bear staying put. That one's in the dirt. Bear not going. 1-2. Gladys ready. Here's the 1-2 to Marsh. That one gets away. Bear again back at second. Davis on it quick enough. 2-2. And I think at this stage you do want to be careful if you're a bear. You don't want to risk getting out here because you are an important runner. It's a tough count for Bobby Marsh, but you'd rather try to get him a hit with a runner on. That one's going to be in the dirt. Bear, once again, staying 2. Count now full. Good discipline for Marsh to turn an 0-2 count to a 3-2 count. And with Cooper Smith on deck, Marsh wouldn't mind if he was walked. I think what Marsh will want to avoid, though, is going down looking. I have a feeling he's probably swinging on this next pitch. The question is, what will Gladys do? 3-2. Payoff pitch. Going to be grounded hard to second. Picked up by Frazier. And the throw gets him out of the inning. Pios strand 1 and still trail by 2 entering the break. We'll be back with the second inning right after this. We are back at historic Dunn Field, second inning, about to get underway. McGee stepping up here to lead off. He's a designated hitter, and we saw him at the end of the first inning. He didn't have a chance to complete his at-bat, though, because Bay got a little greedy trying to steal second and was caught by Lucas Berube. Strike 1. C-Tran is this inning's sponsor. Thank you to C-Tran for sponsoring your Pioneers. They provide affordable transit for the Chemung County. Learn more online and see how C-Tran can help you. Oh, one time called. And that one, oof, runs a little bit inside and hits McGee. And McGee gets aboard. A runner on with no one out. And Drum is stressed that the team, they want to try to get the first runner out, start of each inning. But not going to happen here because McGee does get on thanks to a hit by pitch. Strike 1 taken there. Davis up here. He's the best hitter on the team, hitting .385. He's now even 1-1. Davis not only hitting at a very good percentage for players that have over 25 plate appearances, he's also hitting in important situations. He has 5 RBIs in the season in just 26 at-bats. But notably, he's also a bit of a strikeout machine, leading his team with 11. He's now down 1-2, and that'll be strikeout for number 12 on the season. That'll get the first out of the inning. Good job by Sokol to record his first of the day. Runner on, 1 out is a little bit better of a situation for a pitcher. As we're now not going to see, not Cooper Smith, as we are normally accustomed to calling an outfielder named Smith, but rather a different Smith, as that one is taken. Ball 1. 1-0 from Sokol. And by the way, it's Nathan Smith, who's listed on a roster as a pitcher, so that means he's probably more of a two-way. Counts now 1-2 to Smith. He missed the previous strike right there. 1-2. Runner aboard, Sokol looking to just have a quicker inning and try to get the Pios offense back up there to help his cause. Low, ball 2. And strike 3 that time. You get Smith looking. That'll bring up the shortstop, Thompson. For Nathan Smith, that was his 6th at-bat of the season, and also his 4th strikeout of the season. 2 away now. Still 1 runner on. And Julian Thompson comes up. That second out is good news for Sokol, looking to try to get out of this inning quickly. Outside corner, strike 1. Here's Sokol. Fouled away, he's now ahead 0-2. 85 degrees here in Elmira, now dropping to 84. And there will be some rain tonight. But don't worry, it's going to be at very late night when everyone will be asleep. However, that rain could go into tomorrow, and you'll have to wonder whether the Pios road trip tomorrow could get affected for it. Berube, good job coming away with that one on the dirt. 1-2. So the good news is the showers stay away long enough for finishing the game. That is, unless this game really goes a long distance. But that would be incredibly hard to do. Here's the 1-2. Fouled back. And mentioning about long games, you know, the Pioneers have seen some long games before. In fact, famous manager Earl Weaver, who, yes, used to manage for the Pioneers, managed a 27-inning game. That's one of the longest in professional baseball history. And it happened here with your Pioneers. 1-2. That one fouled away. Thompson staying alive. Here at Dunfield, an image of the certificate given to Weaver commemorating that game, which at the time was a record, and a record that I'd say was definitely pretty hard to break. One of the longest professional baseball games is up at Dunfield if you walk along the corridors inside the stadium. Now, 1-2 again. Sokol looking to get out of the inning. Strike 3. He's got him on that outside corner. Sokol, after conceding the hit by pitch, strikes out the side. That's the end of the first inning, or second inning, and we will be back with the bottom half after this. Due up, Cooper Smith, and then Joe Muzio, and Johnny Wall. We are back at historic Dunn Field amidst some martial arts displays over by the home dugout. Up and lost their shoe there. Getting the win in the fight with that takedown. And now, we're ready to go with the second innings bottom half. Right here, Cooper Smith leading off for your Elmira Pioneers. Cooper Smith, one of the few Elmira Pioneers players that are able to celebrate their birthday in June. We had mentioned that his birthday was during a previous stream. But let's see if Cooper Smith can give himself a belated present with a hit right here, ball one up high. Gladys on the mound had a very solid first inning. He surrendered just one walk, but was able to get out of the jam with nothing more than that. That one's popped up. Should be the first out of the inning. Gladys and first baseman getting under it. So that time making the play was O'Shaughnessy. One away. Now stepping up, we saw him take the mound last night against Mansfield. Joe Muzio. I was able to ask him what his pitch set was, and he said he had two pitches. A fastball or an eephus. And yes, he did throw a few eephuses last night. You can go watch that old game on the YouTube channel. You could even pull it up side by side if you'd like. One away now for Joe Muzio, making his first appearance back into the lineup after sitting out on the road against Jamestown for the first time this season. Actually, no, he was batting against Jamestown last time. It was against, I believe, Niagara that he took a break. Either way, he's been very active with the Pioneers. Leads the team with 29 at-bats, and he also has a .241 average in those at-bats. Here's the 0-1. Ball one outside. That one's 1-2 now. Muzio not wanting to go down early. Trying to keep alive here, 1-2. That one's inside and low, 2-2. 2-2 for Joe Muzio. Foul back. Ball three inside. Muzio working the count full here. On deck after Muzio was Johnny Wall, followed by Shimiluski and J9 Vaughn. And ball four. Muzio gets aboard with one away. One out. Here comes Johnny Wall. Wall for the season, 5 for 15. Outside, ball one. Wall's had 5 hits in those at-bats, and he's scored 2 RBIs. Guess one more here. He might be able to try to get this game a little bit closer. Here goes Muzio. Throw to second. Gets behind. Muzio not going to 3, but he comes up with a stolen base. Count 2-0 to Wall now. So I will say, as the season progressed, Joe Muzio getting a little bit better at getting those stolen bases. He actually leads the team now with 4. Muzio, not your average speedster, because he also carries a bit of power behind his bat. That one's popped up. Should be the second out of the inning in foul territory. Davis comes under it. Oh, it bounces out of his glove. That'll get some cheers at Dunn Field. Count 2-1 now. Muzio on second. You could argue it's a slightly more offensive lineup for the Pioneers tonight. Although, can't say that they've really got bad defense either. That one's grounded over to third. The look over to Muzio gets him back at 2, but it's an errant throw from third base, allowing Wall to get on with 1 out. Chmielewski steps up here. 1 away, 2 aboard. The hesitation to try to get Muzio to stay at 2 and not go to third, I think prompted an errant throw that just got away, O'Shaughnessy having to step off the bag to pick it up. Chmielewski up here. High, ball 1. That's a tying run over on first. Chmielewski could be able to bring him home. So far, he does only have 1 RBI this season in 15 at-bats. He does have 3 walks, though, so he's proven that he can get on base other ways. Muzio goes 3. It's a double steal attempt. Throw in time, but they won't get the tag down. The double steal works to perfection. That one prompted a little discussion between Tucker and the umpire. And for Muzio, that's stolen base number 5 this season. Runners now on third and second, 1 away. And now that makes things a little bit scarier on the mound for Gladys. Chmielewski putting a ball in play likely would bring Muzio home, and the double play option is likely gone. And that one called a strike, it looks like. That was a close call. Whether he felt it broke across the plane a little bit early, I think that would have had to be it. It's a 2-1 count. Stolen base pitch was a ball. 2-1. Chmielewski driving that deep to left field. It's a catch made in left. Both runners tagging up. Actually, the catch wasn't made. Or was it? All right. So, okay. The catch was made in left field by Durrell. Muzio comes home, I think, for the first run. But they do get a double play. Now, I don't know whether that means Elmira does get a run. Because Muzio did, I think, get home before the play ended. Wall tagged up and was caught out. I'm going to nervously keep it at 2-0 for now. But I'll let you know what I do over the break, whether it is a 2-1 game or a 2-0 game still. Regardless, that's the end of the second inning. Thank you to our sponsor, Multimedia Printing and Services. They provide all the signage and printing needs for your Elmira Pioneers, and they can help you too. So we are back here. That's ball one to the leadoff batter for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, Frazier. That one 1-1 now. Play at the end of the inning is a sac fly to left by Shimiluski, but Wall was doubled up. The good news for the Pioneers is that Muzio did get home before the tag was made on Johnny Wall, which allowed the sac fly to happen. That one's a line drive. Getting under it, Bobby Marsh, one away. Martinez, the leadoff batter, back up. Got on base and scored on a walk. He's going to drop down a bunt, foul, 0-1. Two one. Tarp Skunks lead. Pios looking to keep it quiet. What can Sokol do? Ball one inside. One one. Ball two, just a bit inside. Two one. Fouled away. The count goes 2-2 now. That one's going to be grounded over to first. And that'll be the first out of the inning as Wayman makes the play. There's now 2 outs. Tucker back up here at a stolen base and singled, ultimately scoring. Strike one in that inside corner. Now on the play that Tucker stole second, an errant throw that got by from Berube allowed Martinez to bring home the first run of the ball game for the Tarp Skunks. Tucker 1-1. That one fouled away 1-2. Say it's definitely a warmer night here in Elmira. By the way, Papa John's is this inning's sponsor. They also provide pizza for concessions. Big Food tonight at concessions isn't Papa John's Pizza. Instead, $1 hot dogs. And, number 1 gets aboard on a hit by pitch. That one again slipping from Sokol. Durrell steps up here with 2 outs and a runner on first. Durrell taking a little lead. Here's Sokol. Strike one in the outside corner. Darrell this season hitting .300, and that number has gone up now to 7 for 21, 33% at the plate, alongside 5 RBIs. The only RBI so far for the Tarp Skunks today came from O'Shaughnessy on a groundout. That was what allowed Tucker to score in his first plate appearance. That one's going to be grounded. Wayman picks it up, gets the final out of the inning. Apart from a hit by pitch, a flawless inning from Sokol, drawing 3 quick outs. No runs and no hits, no errors, 1 left the board. In total for the day, Jamestown has stranded 3 runners, but still leads entering the bottom of the 3rd inning. We are back at historic Dunn Field. Bottom of the 3rd, getting set to kick off. Vaughn will lead off for your Pioneers. J&I ready to go. Fouled away, strike 1. Glottis so far, through 2 innings, has allowed just 1 run. It is an earned one since he did surrender it via walk at first, but it got to 3rd thanks to a stolen base and errant throw. Or got to 3rd, well, thanks to 2 stolen bases, and Kyle Shimiluski ultimately had a sac fly. The infield for the Tarp Skunks immediately got out on that same play, doubling up Johnny Wall on the base paths. Here's now the 0-2 to Vaughn, who fouled that one off too. Calling time really quickly, Vaughn able just to stretch out. The lefty hitter looking to make an impact and get something going. Well, he's got contact on the ball again, but remains foul. The season, Vaughn hitting 250 from the plate, but so far he only has 1 RBI, and he's also only gone on base via 1 walk, apart from the hits he has. That one's outside, ball 1. Good take there from Vaughn. Three for 12 in official plate appearances, and has his first crack at it tonight. Swing and a miss, and Vaughn goes down swinging. Berube steps up here with 1 out. And now Berube gets a crack at it here. However, Berube hasn't been super good when it comes to hitting cracks at the plate. And neither has his 2 catching mates, Gil Murad and Brody Bartenstein. However, there is one thing that Berube can boast over his fellow catchers as he takes ball 1. is that he's the only one to have brought in an RBI this season, his RBI being crucial in helping the Pioneers get a victory against the Oneonta Outlaws last week. That one's going to be popped up, but it's just going to be that. Lands in foul territory, and Davis can't come up with a catch. Count goes 1-1. So after he tosses back to the side, Berube gets another chance at it here. One and one. One away. Outside, 2-1. I will say I'm glad that this umpire is pretty loud. You can hear him from up in the booth. Makes our job a little bit easier, especially because it can be hard to read calls sometimes. It's good when we can hear him say ball or strike directly. As well, sometimes umpires have very weird hand motions. He's been pretty consistent. He's also not too slow with them, which is great. I will say one thing that's most annoying for me in the booth is when someone is very slow to pull back for strike two or making those calls, because, again, I'm working at a pretty fast rate. It always can catch you off guard if there's someone with a little weird motion, but guy behind the plate doing a good job of there, keeping it vocal, allowing us to hear it, and also being pretty quick with it. That one's driven deep. However, that should be out number 2 out in center field. Martinez makes the catch. Berube gets some contact and gave a bit of a crack, gave a nice sound. Didn't go far enough. 2 away, base is empty. Joel Osofsky steps back in. Here's Osofsky. Strike one. Now, if you catch Osofsky after a game coming out of the locker room, don't be surprised if he's wearing a little bit of NFL merch. His father used to play in the NFL and is currently a coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, he's not the head coach, but he's one of the full list of coaches, and to work alongside some great individuals. And wow, one of the weirdest plays right there to get out of the inning. Deflects off the right fielder into second base's hands. That's going to be grounded as a flyout. F9-4. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Pioneers go down in order. But a very interesting play in right field to retire the side. Before we get to commercial break, there's a musical chairs game, and those are always very interesting and fun. So we're going to watch it happen. Demet's Candy Company is this inning's sponsor for your Elmira Pioneers. I want to thank Demet's for sponsoring us and supporting the Pios. Sokol staying on the mound. He's had a solid start. After just a tricky situation in the first inning, allowing a hit and walk, both of those runners coming home, he's helped keep it quiet, facing only 8 batters for the next 2 innings. In the second inning, he was able to strike out the side. Someone who didn't strike out, though, was O'Shaughnessy, as he got an RBI back in the first on a ground out. We're ready to go with the 4th inning. Fouled away. 0-1 count. That one's going to be grounded. Foul. Oh, 2 count now. And that one in the dirt, ball 1. So far, not too bad in surrendering some free bases. He's only done 3, but what's been tough is that one of them did come home for one of the 2 runs. 1 walk and 2 hit by pitches so far for Sokol. And ball. Good attempt to frame it, but a little bit high. Another just interesting fact for Sokol as well. I was able to talk to him, and he said he mainly wants to work on just improving, getting some practice in. And just how similar to a lot of the other pitchers. And that one hit him. Shaughnessy gets aboard there. That's a 3rd hit by pitch. So apart from the 3rd inning, lead runners have gotten on in 3 of the 4 so far. Bay gets aboard here. He had a single, but was caught stealing on his previous at-bat. 1 on, no one out. I wonder whether Bay might try to run a little bit of a sacrifice bunt here, see if he can get a runner in motion. That one's in the dirt, but O'Shaughnessy not moving. Mono. That one's away, 2-0. Shaughnessy's still at first. That one's a bit inside, 3-0. No one warming up just yet for the Pioneers. I think they want to trust Sokol to try to get through 4 innings, maybe 5. And that's going to be ball 4. 4 straight balls for Bay. He gets on. Runners on second and first. McGee steps up here. He was hit by a pitch in his previous at-bat. And Billy Wilderman coming out to the mound to discuss things really quickly with Sokol. Wilderman, of course, former Pioneer, but he's now working as a pitching coach. Last night, he had a little opportunity. He came on against Mansfield and got the save in the top of the 9th inning. And fun fact as well, he is eligible if the Pioneers ever need to throw him in, but more likely than not, we'll probably just see him working as a pitch coach and not pitching, except for some fun interleague games in the future. I was able to talk to Billy last night about how he felt after that, and he said that, he really enjoyed it. Because after all, as he said, you never realize just how much you love baseball and playing the game until you can't play it any longer. And that's what he tells his players. I'm sure he's been telling the Pioneers that quite a bit. He wants to remind them to savor every at-bat. 2 aboard, no one out. See if Sokol can not just savor, but try to get an out right here, this time around against McGee. He was hit by a pitch previously. Might want a little revenge against Sokol. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Inside ball 1. Two one count. Fouled away. 1-2. With those 3 strikeouts in this start so far, Sokol is 10 on the season. Now we're going to see, can Sokol get number 11 right here and give himself an out to work with? Yes, he does. 1 away on a big whiff from McGee. Davis comes up here with 1 out. Davis, Smith, and Thompson all struck out in their first at-bats. Davis leading off for that trio. Ooh, he checked up, but not in time. It's just going to be a foul ball. Similarly, that's one of those checkups where you're trying not to hit the ball, but it accidentally does. Here's the 0-1. Ball just a bit low. 1-1 count. High, 2-1. That one's going to be grounded down third base. Slips and gets past Muzio. Bases are loaded. Muzio tried making the play there, just couldn't come up with it. Shame for Joe. Is right on it. Davis gets aboard via error. Actually, that'll be great as a hit, as Muzio honestly wasn't in the best position to make that play. It was more a good effort by him as well to make sure it didn't go to the outfield. So bases loaded. Smith steps up here. Struck out previously looking. Bases loaded, just 1 away. Swing and a miss there. Smith wanted to create that run support there. The two-way player from no college listed for him. 0-1. Strike 2 right there on that inside corner. So Sokol, he's got a tricky job to get out of this bases loaded 1-out jam, but he's already got a good count against Smith. That one's going to be grounded to short. Here's Osofsky. They turn 1. Throw to first. Not in time, but another runner coming home. They make the tag. Even though a run does score, they do turn a double play. That's a 6-4-3-2 double play. O'Shaughnessy scoring from third. Bay getting cut out at the plate. Davis was out at second. So it was a fielder's choice double play. 6-4-3-2. And that'll end the top of the 4th inning. With that, 1 run came home on 1 hit. No errors. 1 left on base. Or no one left on base. We'll be back bottom of the 4th after this. We're back at historic Dunn Field. Chris Bear leading off for your Elmira Pioneers. So Bear leading off. Got on base field walk and was able to steal second back in the first inning. And the dirt, ball one. Vasco Brands is this inning's sponsor. They'll handle all your janitorial needs. They've helped out the Pioneers as well. If you need, let them know. Reach out and tell them the Pioneers sent you. Thank you again to Vasco Brands. 1-1 count. One, two now. That one's in the dirt, ball two. So far, Galatas just one strikeout from in this game. This season, that puts his total at 4. Ball 3, Bear works the count full again. Pioneers have seen a couple of these counts tonight. And Bear gets on with the second walk of the game. Wayman comes up with a runner on first. Entering this game, Bear didn't have a single walk or free base this season, and now he's been able to get on base twice thanks to walks. Wonder if Bear's going to try to go again here. Unsurprisingly, there's the pickoff attempt. And I have a feeling this time Bear might not go until a little bit later in the count. As you can tell, he's very close to first base, didn't even need to slide back in there. That one's going to be popped up again. Shaughnessy trying to get to it, calling it as the second baseman. And Frazier gets to it. One away. Bobby Marsh comes up with one out. Things getting a little darker here at Dunfield. Sunset coming soon. And now it's up to Bobby Marsh with the runner on. Try to get some offense going. Pioneers hitless through 3 1/3. They do have a run off free bases, though. Runner goes, throw to second, and they've got Bear in time, 2 away. So risky send. Davis with a good throw to Thompson, who makes the tag. 1-0 count now, but 2 away and empty bases for Bobby Marsh. That one's got a sting for the Pioneers. Back at square one in terms of runners. Now only 1 out to play with. Cooper Smith on deck, though. He is one of the better hitters for the Pioneers. Marsh already had 2-0. And wouldn't be surprised if Galatas pitched a little cautiously around him. That one on the inside corner called strike. Those have been strikes all day. We've seen more Tarp Skunks getting calls there for strike one. This time, Marsh gets a strike there. Marsh pretty close to the plate. That's why he has to back away for those. Those do tag the corner. And that one's strike two. Wonder if Marsh might just back up a little bit now. Try to give himself some more space for those inside pitches. 2-2. Marsh going to ground that right to Galatas. The underhand throw gets him out to end the inning. Pioneers go down in order after a caught stealing attempt. The side is retired. Bottom of the fourth done and dusted. We'll be back with the fifth inning right after this. A fielder's choice double play ended the previous inning for Jamestown. It did bring home one run, though. But ultimately, it just brought in that. And actually, I do apologize. It brought home a run, and I forgot to update the graphic. 3-1 lead for the Tarp Skunks. Leading off this inning is Thompson. Thompson struck out looking in his previous at-bat. That one tipped foul, strike one. Just need a reminder of how the Pios lined up in the field. Sokol and Berube formed the battery. Muzio, Olsovsky, Bear, and Wayman left to right in the infield. Muzio at third, Olsovsky short, Bear second, Wayman first. And left to right in the outfield, Marsh, Cooper Smith, and Kyle Shimiluski. 1-1 now, that one outside. You've seen a little bit of those pitches inside getting called, or on that right side getting called strikes, but that one very far outside. Swing and a miss, strike two. Sokol getting Thompson to miss right there. 1-2 count now. And time call for Thompson. Outside, ball two. That one's going to be lined up the middle, takes a hop off the mound, and it's a base hit. Arnett Health is this inning's sponsor for your Elmira Pioneers. They're the official healthcare service provider for Elmira. Thank you again to Arnett Health for sponsoring Pioneers, and you can trust them for health needs, because it's what we do. Well, we being they. Frazier up now. Flew out in his first at-bat, 0 for 1. And just a little conference between him and the third base coach, getting some extra instruction. Now, I have a feeling they might want to pull a sacrifice here to try to move the runner to second. Just manufacture some runs here. They already have a lead. Frazier hitting 167 entering the game. 4 strikeouts, although that number didn't jump up to 5 after he flew out. Thompson notably got his second hit of the season on that previous at-bat. Strike 1, inside. And now we're seeing some signs over from third. I do have a feeling that he's going to tell the runner to run. And as he tried the sacrifice, they nearly get a pickoff. 1-1. Thompson aborted the steal attempt there. Pickoff throw back from Berube. Wasn't able to get him. Wonder if they're going to run the same thing. I imagine there might be a pickoff throw from Sokol. No, they don't. Instead, they throw a pitch that I think just is called a little high. That was a very close one. Borderline strike. 2-1 count here. I have a feeling they're going to run for that again. Wonder if Sokol will try a pickoff here. They don't. Instead, framed on the outside corner, strike 2. That'll pretty much kill any sacrifice bunt attempt. Thompson's still on first, no one out. Berube up quickly on it, full count. Runner goes, fouled away. So with the full count, you got to expect the runner to run here. And that'll make it a little bit dangerous. If that ball gets to the outfield, you could see Thompson from first trying to make it all the way home. Thompson for the season. No stolen bases, though. So he hasn't always been the fastest in the base path. Wonder what Berube will do on this 3-2. Swing and a miss. Throw to second. And he is out. But it's ball 4, so that doesn't matter. It looked like he went around, but he didn't. And I think some discussions over here. And Coach Drum was out there. Pretty sure he's going to be a bit animated about this decision. He felt he swung, and now he's talking over with it. He's going to be called that he checked. Very close call, but Coach Drum understandably mad about it. He's still talking with the umpires. And I do have to say, Drum, I think, has every right to challenge this call. That was a very borderline decision. It was a very close checkup. And it would have turned that into a 2 outs, bases empty situation. But because of that call, they're now 2 aboard with no one out. And Drum is out. He has been ejected. And gotta say, very borderline call there. And with that, Drum is out. But you gotta challenge a call like that. That is a very big implication. I wish I could pull up replays here. 2 aboard, no one out now. And that's going to be a sacrifice bunt. They just want to advance the runners. Sokol able to pick it up, but at that point, Martinez was already at first. Bases now loaded, no one out. All off of that very, very borderline walk that basically flipped this inning on its head. Entering that at-bat for Martinez The game could have been 2 aboard, from 2 aboard, it could have been 2 outs and no one on. But now, bases are loaded, no one out. And strike 1 that time. Only after the game, I think, will we really be able to review. Although maybe in the half inning, I'll pull it up and just look over it again. We had a pretty good view from up here. Here's the 0-1. That one's going to be flared out to left. Marsh getting under it. Unless it's foul. Marsh making an incredible catch. The cost, however, is 1 run. Incredible catch there on the dive from Bobby Marsh. But it does bring home an RBI. 2 aboard still. 4-1 lead. 1 out, 2 on. And that's a shame that it is a sac fly, because Sokol had a really good at-bat before. And now Wayman, he's talking, or actually no, we have some more chirping from the dugout. And I believe that might be Eugene Barber or Brian Joe. Whoever he is, I think also got ejected. And I think still a little bit upset from one of the previous plays. So a bit of controversy here. Now we might be able to get Drum to join me on the broadcast a little bit later. Obviously, he's already told me before he's not going to talk anything about those decisions. To quote the great Jose Mourinho, if he speaks, he's in trouble. Big trouble, big trouble. I cannot speak. I do not speak. If I speak, I'm in big trouble. But for now, we see someone else leaving, and definitely tension still blaring. 1 away, 2 aboard. Here's the pitch from Sokol. That one's ball 1, a bit low. The call, of course, on that swing and miss wasn't from the home plate umpire. He shot it out to the man at second. That one's going to be grounded. Gets over to second. They're going to get 1, but it'll... Ooh. Yes, he did. He got the tag. That was very close, and you see very disappointed on that play was Doral. He felt he was able to grind that out. It was a close play, but a good tag from Wayman. O'Shaughnessy steps up with runners at second and third. 2 away. And also, Doral limping back to the dugout. Hopefully didn't pull an ankle or anything on that play. I think he'll be fine, but might just want that checked up really quickly. 2 outs. Do you see someone warming up in the bullpen? This will probably be the final inning for Sokol. Another strong start, just a multitude of factors getting in the way. Back in the first inning, a walk brought on the first run, and an errant throw from Berube to second got it home. The second run came home on a ground out that could be ruled as a sacrifice. The third run of the game came home on a weird fielder's choice play, and also I do need to update the scoreboard again. Oh boy. The fourth run then coming home after first getting aboard with a hit, then got to second, was nearly caught stealing, but a walk call that caused a little bit of a discussion, let's call it, between some of the people. And Joe Muzio sliding catch. The inning is over. And it was after that that a sac fly brought that runner home. So you can't really say that Sokol at fault for a majority of the runs. But a great play by Muzio and Marsh getting 2 of the outs. The inning is over. Tarp Skunks lead by 3. Still time for the Pios to strike back. They just need to get their first hit of the game, though. Entering the 5th inning, still a no-hitter for the Tarp Skunks. We did see someone warming up, and I think we do see a pitching change here. A lot is done after 4 very nice innings. We now are going to see, before we enter the break... No, Glad is still on the mound. I apologize. We'll be back, bottom of the 5th. First pitch here, grounded to short. I do apologize for the late return, and Smith out early to start the bottom of the 5th inning. First Transit's this inning's sponsor. Thank you, First Transit, for supporting the Elmira Pioneers. Joe Muzio made a great catch the bottom half of the inning, or top half of the inning, sliding in foul territory to pick up the ball. He got on base and scored via walk, the only run score so far for your Elmira Pioneers. Here's Joe Muzio's first pitch, 1 away. Strike 1, he's taking that on the outside corner. And that one's going to be high, ball 1. Now I pulled up the replay. That strike count, it's a little bit fuzzy, of course, but we can kind of see it right here. I'll illustrate it as Muzio gets ahead 2-1, and I'll put it up on the big screen, and I'll leave it up to you guys to decide about whether you felt that was a strike or a ball. And I will say it's pretty borderline. He did go a long way around, but sometimes those ties do go to the batter, no matter how painfully close they can be. 2-2 to Muzio after he fouled that one away. That one flared foul over to the bullpen, where we do see someone warming up. Don't imagine they're going to need to come in yet, though. Muzio lines that to the outfield, but running to make the catch, Martinez, and he does come up with it. Good legs to get the second out of the inning. That'll be disappointing for the Pioneers. Good news for the Tarp Skunks. Two away. That's going to bring up Johnny Wall. Got on base via error last time. Oh, 1 to Wall. And before we start the next inning, we'll review that play one more time back in from the top of the 5th. Controversial call that could have some implications if the Pioneers generate some offense, although I will say if the Pioneers don't generate the offense they need, that call will just be water under the bridge of a tough Pioneers loss. The Tarp Skunks have won 2 games against the Pioneers in 2 matchups this season. And the most recent one was one of the most convincing wins of the year against the Pioneers. 9-3. That one lined deep to center and right. Making the catch to end the inning is Smith. Pioneers go down in order again. They can't do much on the offensive plate. 5 innings through, no hits. They do score a run thanks to free bases and an error, but that'll be it. We'll be back with the top of the 6th right after this. So, this is the call. That is the swing. And I will say, from that view, I tried my best because it's incredibly hard quality with that line to recreate where the bat was based on how he was holding it. That's a close call. But I do wonder whether that was enough. My question is, maybe, if the runner wasn't on first, down the first base line, would that be an easier call? As that one's fouled away, strike one. We'll remove the graphic in just a second, but that was how close that call was. That was prompted discussion, and I'd say from this view, I would say that is strike three. But of course, here's now the 0-1. That fouled away 0-2 for Bay. Now, we do have a new pitcher for your Pioneers. Champa comes onto the mound. No one out. 0-2 count. And that one inside, ball one. Texas Roadhouse is this inning's sponsor. If a Pioneer hitter can, well, you know, hit the ball and get it to that sign, everyone here at Dunn Field will get a free appetizer at Texas Roadhouse. And you know, for me, I'll definitely take those cactus blossoms as that one's fouled away. Bay staying alive. 1-2. 2-2, just a little bit high. And swing and a miss in the dirt. Berube picks it up. Throw to first is made for the first out of the inning. McGee comes up here with one away. Ball one outside. Sent off to men. Hallelujah. 2-0 count now. One away. McGee fouls that one off. Oof. I wonder if that'll hit a car. And definitely had some power behind it, but just in the wrong direction. You want to try to hit those straight into the outfield. 2-1 now to McGee. Swing and a miss. Strike two now. Champa doing a good job here to try to get through the inning. He came on to relieve Sokol after a 5-inning start. Say Sokol did another solid outing from the mound. A lot of the runs just not in his control completely. 3-2 now. So just a shame, of course, to see it happen. Swing and a miss. Strike three. Second strikeout for Champa. That's going to bring up Davis with two away. Now, we already mentioned a Sokol, a very good pitcher for the Pioneers. Champa could arguably be better. He's had 3 appearances in 1 start, 9 innings pitched, 1 run allowed. Now he's up to 14 strikeouts with just .1 ERA. That number will probably get lower if he can keep it clean. Strike one. So far, it has gone a bit lower after he's cleared 2/3 of an inning. Davis, he's 1 for 2 with a single. That's in the dirt ball 1. 1-1. Inside, ball 2. And that time, he went around strike 2. A weird sort of check, but then ultimately deciding to follow through. 2-2 to Davis, 1 strike away from a 1-2-3 inning, would be the first one for the Pioneers all night. And Champa gets him to go in the dirt. Throw from Ruby in time, and a good catch by Wayman. 3 swinging strikeouts to end the inning. We'll be back with the bottom of the 6th right after this. Nate Johnson on the mound for the Tarp Skunks. That'll end Galata's day. And now it's up to Johnson to try to preserve a combined no-hitter. Now listen, I'm a Pioneer supporter through and through, but I'm also a connoisseur of the baseball arts. If there's a no-hitter late, I will be cheering for a no-hitter. But for now, it's not late enough. Let's see if the Pioneers can get back into this game. Up here will be Kyle Shimilewski. He's the number 37, and he's out in right field. As of today, he's got the only run for the Pioneers, and you might think that's funny. Hey, how did the Pioneers score when not on a hit? Well, I'll tell you. They've got on base via walks, they've got on base and moved via errors, and that sacrifice fly from Shimilewski has made this game 4-1, entering the bottom of the 6th. Clarion Hotels is this inning's sponsor, and they're a good place to stay, whether you're on the road here in Elmira. They can be your first spot for any destination. 1-0 count. That one's 1-2-0, a little bit low. So I will say, I need to just double check then who came in for Johnson in the field. Actually, no, Johnson coming from the bullpen and not the field. That one's going to be popped up. It went very far. The only problem was it went far into the sky. That's going to be out number 1, pop fly. Vaughn steps up here with 1 away. And Johnson, he's pitched 3 innings of no runs allowed, at least earned. He has had 2 runs surrendered, but both of them unearned. And so far, he's put up 2 strikeouts to 3 walks. So, pretty solid relieving outings from him. And he's going to be tasked with keeping things quiet. Janai Vaughn coming up here with 1 out. 0-0 count. And 1-0 a bit inside. I do need to keep this updated. There's been a lot to keep track of in this game. So, I do say a little bit behind. But Pios looking to fight back here. And, oof. We'll keep the no-hitter going. But, you know, there is a hit in quotation marks. Janai Vaughn gets aboard after taking that one like a champ. Berube steps up with a runner off first. And of course, you'll have to guess that Champa's going to go another inning. No one in the bullpen yet. 1 out. Chance for Berube. And, oh, that was inside, and they're going to say it hit him. Berube gets on. So Pioneers getting on base again. Top of the order, Joe Olsovsky comes up. Olsovsky, he's a great hitter for the Pioneers, but so far, he's had a little bit of a cool stretch. He's looking to improve at this at-bat right here. For the season, Olsovsky, 4 for 25 in his appearances, but notably, he's gone on base via 8 free passes, 3 hit by pitches, and 5 walks. So he carries a much better on-base percentage than average. And if he gets on base here, he can get the heart of the order coming up with bases loaded. But that one, he's just going to take right down the middle. Strike 1. 1 away, 2 aboard. The Pios could find hit number 1. It would get them right back into this game. Would certainly score Vaughn. And if it's far enough, you could see Berube go from first. Vaughn dancing at second, getting ready. That one's just high ball 1. Now, I will say, none of the hit by pitches have been intentional, but there's certainly been quite a few. In total, there's been 5, 3 on the Tarp Skunks, 2 on the Pioneers. Here's the 1-1. Strike 2. 1-2 count. Dangerous spot. I think it's time we crank it up. One, two. And Vaughn gets caught there. A pickoff attempt there. Disappointing. We've seen Vaughn have a couple little errors on the base path this season. And that'll be 1 more. 2 outs now. Runner on first. Tying run was just at the plate. And just disappointing from Vaughn, I gotta say. Because Vaughn has been great at the plate. He's been great at getting aboard. But we also saw, I think in the previous game, Vaughn just getting doubled up after he committed a little too early to getting to second. And I might be able to ask Coach Drum up here in the booth in a second and how he feels about that. 1-2, with 2 away. Runner on, I do apologize. That hadn't been shown on the graphic. 2-2. Joel Olsovsky looking to keep this inning alive for the Pioneers. He's got a 2-2 count right here. That one's going to get away from Davis, but saying just safe at first is Berube. Full count now, 2 away. Bottom of the 6th. Pioneers do have 9 outs remaining after this, but they'd like to get some offense going here. and trying to get their first hit on the board. They've got plenty of base runners. They haven't strained it too many, but they've got base runners. That one's going to be flared out to center, but it should be playable for Martinez. He runs in and makes the catch to end the inning. One left aboard this time on no hits, no errors. As we end the 6th inning and go to inning number 7, we'll see more Pioneers baseball right after this. So leading off for the Tarp Skunks is Smith. He's got a chance facing Champa. Champa was clean through his first inning, 3 strikeouts. Here's his first pitch. That one fouled. 0-1. Hilliard is this inning's sponsor. Big sponsor for the Pioneers, sponsoring different promotions, events, and also on our hats and jerseys. Thank you to Hilliard for supporting the Elmira Pioneers. You also see 5 billboards out there in the outfield, including 2 on top of the scoreboard. Ooh, and that's a hit by pitch. Champa surrenders his first runner as that one just slips and taps into Smith's shoulder. Now, with a runner aboard, you always got to be careful about pickoff attempts. And back in the previous inning, J9 Vaughn just got caught hanging. And I was able to talk with Coach Drummond. He, just like the rest of the Pios faithful, I believe, was just a little disappointed on that play. Ultimately, the Pioneers wouldn't be able to generate much after that. After a fly out to center ended the inning. 1-1 count, or 1-0 count. 1 aboard. Pioneers still have some time to get back into the game, but they need to keep things clean right here. Champa is the right man to do the job, though. Here's the 1-0. Runner goes. Throw. Just a second late on the tag. Very close. 1-1 count. Successful stolen base attempt, though. And I will say, the crowd booing, but the tag was a little bit late that time. It was not as contestable as the previous call. 1-1. Runner on second. That one, strike two, finds that one in the zone. Little breaking ball. Just fooling Thompson this time. Thompson in this game, he's 1 for 2 as well. Current line score 4-5-1 for the Tarp Skunks, 1-0-1 for the Pioneers. Champa gets strikeout number 4. This time Thompson is victim, his second strikeout of the game. Frazier aboard now, 0 for 1 with a walk. And you could say this game that simply Jamestown's been playing a little bit better than the Pioneers. Pioneers have had a couple sloppy plays. Not perfect on the base path. We've seen them get caught stealing and pick off. Seen them in the field making a few little slip-ups. Muzio had one play where it just couldn't get it in his glove. He did make up for it with an incredible sliding catch in the dirt. We also saw that throwing error for Berube bring the first run of the game home. So just another tough night for the Pioneers. Jamestown capitalizing on every single mistake so far. 1-0 count to Frazier. There's the pickoff attempt, but back in time is Smith. One away for Champa. And strike one. And that time called. Still a 1-1 count with one away. Now the Pioneers, a little bit busy after this. Tomorrow, they're going to be hitting the road to Newark. They'll be playing at 7:05 at Colburn Park. They're going to be back home Friday against Geneva. And then they travel back to Jamestown on Saturday, where they played back on Sunday. 2-1 count here. Oof, that one inside, and it almost looked like Frazier was going to faint as if he was a boxer there. He really leaned back, but didn't hit him. This umpire has been very clear about when a ball has hit the batter, and I'll say helps us out because we can know immediately when one has or hasn't. 3-1 count. Ball 4. So first runner aboard again. First walk surrendered. Two on, one out. Does reopen the double play option, but also reopens a double steal. You'll have to be careful. He's up against Martinez, who's 1 for 3. And 1 for 2. Martinez scored on a walk back in the first, had a single back in the fifth. Martinez loaded the bases after the call that I think would probably be the talk of the town after the game. Squared up with a bunt there. And I will say, with that lead, the Tarp Skunks can't afford to really go cautious. Try to trust that they can work with 2 outs and runners in dangerous positions. And they do have a safe lead. They do have a no-hitter going through 6. Top of the 7th continuing. Here's now the 1-0 to Martinez. And outside, ball 2. Good attempt by Berube. Just can't frame it enough. That one right down the middle, strike one. Those 2-0, 3-0 counts are generally takes because, again, you have a free pitch. You might as well use it. Just try to see if you can get ahead further in the count. Here's a 2-1 now, 2 aboard. Champa with a little jam. strike 2. It's that inside that has been dangerous for each team's hitters. Lefties have had a tough day reacting with those, but he's established that outside zone all day. And strike 3 gets him looking on the inside zone. 2 away. One more out, and Champa can get out of the little jam that he got in. With 2 aboard. Someone warming up in the bullpen. This will probably be Champa's last inning. But for now, he's had a great relief stint. Proving to be a very solid arm, whether it's starting or from the pen. 1-0. Tucker so far, well, he's had a very weird day. With an RBI, he's 1 for 1, although that RBI came on a sacrifice fly. He also was hit by a pitch and singled back in the first. He scored back in the first 2. Count now 1-1. 2 away, top of the 7th. Due up for the Pioneers. When you get to the next inning, will be Bear, Wayman, and Marsh, the 3 best hitters, and will be definitely a true test for Johnson, as it looks like he'll return to the mound. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 1 strike away for Champa. One, 2. Strike 3. Call him. His name is Tristan, but you might as well call him Tommaso. Champa 6 strikeouts, and he strikes out the side again. Although this time there was a hit by pitch and walk in the way. Champa wraps up 2 innings of very nice work. We'll be back with the bottom of the 7th right after this. Top of the 7th underway here at historic Dunn Field. Chris Spare leads off for the Pioneers. Today, he hasn't had an actual at-bat because he's got on base with 2 walks. We know he can try to break up this no-hitter. There is a no-hitter through 6, and currently Nate Johnson is on the mound looking to defend it. One-0, good take from Bear. Wayman and Marsh on deck. They'll have a chance this inning. And that's the thing. Those are the 2 deadliest hitters for the Pioneers. If they can't really get on base, I wonder who else can. 2-0 count. And at this point, the Pioneers just need offense. I don't know what else there is really to say. They've just got to fight back. Champa has done a good job these previous 2 innings. That one fouled away, strike 1. But Bear with the hitter's count here. Fouled away, 2-2. And reminder, Pioneers hit the road to Jamestown, or hit the road tomorrow to Newark. They beat the Pilots last time before heading home to face Geneva on Friday. Hopefully things will stay clear enough in Newark to have that game. Now full count for Bear. Bear grounds that down the third base line, picked up, throw to first in time for out number 1. Disappointing, and a good play there from Tucker. 1 out. That's going to bring up Frank Wayman. And indeed, that game will be questionable. Tomorrow night, rain scheduled around that area. It might clear up before the game, but of course, the field might not be in great shape depending on how they can tarp it. So I'll have to wait and see. Hopefully that game will happen. But of course, the dreaded R word, rain, always looming. It'll definitely be hitting Elmira too tomorrow and later tonight. Fouled away, ripped on a line. 1-1. That one's in the dirt. Ball 2. Marsh and Smith due up next. Bobby Marsh today, he's grounded out twice. Cooper Smith, he's popped out and grounded out. Wayman's got 2 fly ball outs, one of them being a pop out. 0 for 6 combined. Those 3 not even able to get on via walks. 2-2. That one just... Oh, no, wait. 3-1. Oof. It was like pulling back for the strike motion, but no, that one just a bit high. 1 away, bottom of the 7th. Bully Hill Pioneers the sponsor this inning. And ball 4. Wayman's able to get aboard for the first time this game with a walk. Marsh can get the first hit of the game. He might be able to get this deficit down to 2. Now, in total, the Pioneers have been able to generate some offense. They've gotten 6 base runners through 6 and a third. One of them has come home, but it's funny how 1 error and a few walks and hit by pitches have been all they've been able to generate. Sac fly, coming off a stolen base, was ultimately how they got their 1-run home. Marsh takes that one low. Ball 1. It's hard to see from the quality of the stream, but there's always a box on the back of our shirts. And, well, that box is sponsored by Bully Hill Vineyards, the official wine of the Elmira Pioneers. Marsh is going to send that one to right field. Tracking back is Smith. That will be out number 2. Makes the catch. Wayman back at first. Still haven't seen a home run from the Pioneers yet. And still waiting to see who can first pull it off, whether it's inside the park and whether it's a true home run. We have seen 2 of them from Bay and King. King being rested tonight for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Neither came against your Pioneers, though. Cooper Smith now up. Runner aboard. He's got a chance to keep this inning alive. Strike 1 a bit low. I will say if the Pioneers were to lose, a goodbye no-hitter wouldn't be the worst way to go. But again, Pioneers just another tough night against the Tarp Skunks. Still a close game, though, and still a chance for some offense to really bring things home. Strike 2. He's got ahead now of Cooper Smith. Nate Johnson looking to get out of the inning. He's still carrying a nil ERA entering the game. And now entering his 2nd inning of work, looking to keep that way. That one popped up, but foul and backward. Do see some stretching over in the bullpen, but I don't think anyone will be fully ready to get him yet. I have a feeling that they're going to keep Johnson in one more afterwards, the bottom of the 8th. We'll just have to wait and see, though. Wayman's still on first. 0-2 count, 1 strike, and the Pioneers will go down again. That's low, ball 1. Good take there from Smith. Pioneers have only stranded 2 runners all day. Smith keeping alive. That one gets away. Runner goes to second. Wayman stays there. That's a wild pitch. They'll bring out a full count. And Wayman will be very happy to just say, don't mind if I do, scurry on over to second. Smith trying to keep that inning alive. And now that runner 90 feet closer to home. On deck, Joe Muzio. And looking like a real possibility he could get a crack here. And so far in his previous at-bats, he's a walk and scored. And also a flyout. That one's going to be grounded to third. That gets by over to short. And that time, I'd say that's got to be an error on that play. The fielding attempt at short just not good enough. It was a very routine ground ball. I'd say that was an error. But very close. Smith gets on base via error, and there's going to be a discussion at the mound really quickly. Runners at the corners. So it is graded as an error. The no-hitter stands, but it's up to Joe Muzio to break this no-no right here and right now. And I think that an error was the right call there. It was a 2-hopper, a chance there for Thompson. It was slow enough. Or actually, no, it wasn't Thompson missing it. It was Tucker. I do apologize. Tucker just missed the first one. Thompson then kept it himself, trying to get Wayman out at third. And just keeping it secure because Wayman didn't want him to get home. But now 2 away. What can Joe Muzio do? Strike 1, just tagging the outside corner, barely. Entering the game, Muzio, a .241 average, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, 4 free bases, walks and hit by pitches. Outside ball 1. 2 away, Muzio now even in the count. With Muzio at the bat, let's crank it up. Now let's crank it up. We heard Dunfield get excited. Now we got a 2-1 count coming up for Muzio. 2 aboard, a chance to really get this game closer. Muzio is going to send that high, not far enough. Scramble in the infield, but coming to second and making the play is Frazier. That'll end the inning. Well, they didn't strand one runner. They stranded 2 this time. The Pioneers still trail by 3. They've got an inning to go after this. And the bottom of the 9th, potentially. We'll be back with more Pioneers baseball. I'm Taylor Storworthy, right after this. Take a look over to the right. We've got some fencing on the field. And also, I will note, Cooper Smith's ball was definitely close to being a hit, but I think in 1, just because it was a 2-hopper little error to third, and 2, again, it is a no-hitter, still through 7, but a borderline play. I know for Cooper, he definitely will be keeping that as a hit on his books. Show of good sportsmanship after that little fencing duel. And I think that will be it for Champa, unless I'm wrong. It is. Kevin Serrano comes aboard. He's going to get a chance here to try to keep this game as close as he can. He's had a rough couple outings to start out, but he's come in or he's had a not perfect start, but overall, he's got a chance to help out his ERA and stats right here. Salins is the sponsor this inning. And tonight, $1 hot dog night. So if you were at Dunfield, you got yourself a discount. I got a couple hot dogs before the game, fully taking advantage of that discount. These nights are always special for fans. Got to make sure you've got enough once, and Salen's always a quality product. That's the final warm-up from Serrano. Leading off this time for the Tarp Skunks, Durrell. 3 groundouts today. 1 right to Wayman, 1 to Wilsofsky, and 1 to Bear. He'll complete a trifecta if he sends that Muzio's way. For the season, Durrell entering the game hitting .300. That number will drop, however. He's got 5 RBIs in the season. Would take a lot to get our number 6. And this particular at-bat, that's a line drive deep to left field. That's going to go well over Shimaluski's head. And he's going to probably turn 3 here. No, he's staying 2. Stand-up double to lead off. And he just took that one far. Good hit. Runner now aboard. No one out. O'Shaughnessy. Strike 1. Here's Serrano. Just steps off for a second, just recollecting. That is outside, ball 1. It's been a pretty chaotic game, and honestly, it feels like there's something crazy every time the Pioneers play the Tarp Skunks. That one's popped up. Berube, under it, makes the catch. Out number 1. First game was a Star Wars night, just a fun celebration. Got to use a lot of Star Wars puns. Game 2, I had to duck away from a foul ball headed right at me. And here, had the ump show. We've had a lot of action on the base paths. And also, still a combined no-hitter going through 7. A little bit of a 50-50 play. Nearly broken up by Cooper Smith. But again, I think just the error at third might be the right call there. That one, strike 1, low and in the zone. Serrano looking to get ahead here. O'Shaughnessy. Unless he's being pinch hit. No, I don't think so. Fouled away. And actually, no. O'Shaughnessy just fouled out. It's Bay who's now down 0-2 after that swing and miss. Salen's, of course, this inning's sponsor. And again, looking outside the baseball world, Salen's will be having their 6 hours at the Glen in the future. Here in Watkins Glen, not too far from Elmira. Still get tickets. And he's trying to say he went. No, he didn't. And a close call. I'm not going to go incomplete with the review there, but Berube disappointed at that. But again, we know how close those calls can be. 1-2 count. There's a pickoff attempt. Darrell back in time, but that was just because Bear wasn't aggressively covering. They did catch Darrell off guard, but not enough to get him out. Kimbrel-esque pose for Serrano, 1-2. Two-two. And strike 3. Finds that outside corner. That's going to bring up McGee with 2 away. Of course, tomorrow night, you can still tune in for more Pioneers baseball. The Pioneers hit the road and land in Newark at the Pilots Airstrip. I don't think it's actually an airstrip. I was going with a pilot pun there. As they take on the Newark Pilots. Should weather permit, that's another big thing. But of course, we'll hopefully be able to. Might need to go get some early BP as it will rain most of the afternoon. Ball went a bit high. Then it's another home game on Friday and another road game. Ironically, they're going to be facing those Tarp Skunks again on Saturday. So make sure you stay tuned for that as well. Hopefully, I won't have another foul ball to deal with. 1-1. Swung and missed in the dirt, Berube back on it. Due up for your Pioneers. Wall, Shimileski, Vaughn. And then it would be Berube, Olsavsky, and Bear, the minimum 6 batters, with 6 outs remaining for your Pioneers. 2-1. And that one's strike 2, finding that outside high corner. Two-two. Just a little high. Count goes full. Serrano looking to end the inning here. All he surrendered was that very hard-hit double that landed behind Chmielewski. And again, you can't blame Chmielewski. He was good to get on it and keep it a double. Can Serrano get out of the jam here? That one's popped up. Should end the inning. Osofsky calling it. And the side is retired. Top of the 8th is over. We're now going to the bottom of the 8th. What fight do the Pios have left with 6 outs to go? Eric Kraus takes the mound for the Tarp Skunks. We'll give you the score lines. 4-6-2 for the Tarp Skunks. 1-0-1 for the Pioneers. In the MLB this year, we've seen a couple of these situations. The Mets are a recent team to have done it. We also saw Reed Detmers of the Los Angeles Angels go a complete 9 innings. Both those teams had in common not surrendering a single hit. 6 more outs for the Tarp Skunks, but obviously our Pioneers will want to ruin that parade. And I gotta say, as someone who does enjoy the arts of no-hitters, perfect games, and the like, I'm a bit impartial for both here. As long as the Pios generate the offense, if that no-hitter gets broken and the Pios win, I wouldn't say I'd be upset. The first player looking to take a crack at ending that no-no bid, Johnny Wall. And so far, he's had an error that let him get on base and a flyout. Might have been foul territory. That's the final throw, final warm-up for Kraus, who comes into the game. For the season, Kraus, he's also got an ERA of 0 with 1 run surrendered but not earned. Overall defense has been about average, I'd say, for the teams. 3 errors combined. One of them was an errant throw from the Pios. Both errors for the Tarp Skunks were off-ground balls. 1 an errant throw from third, and 1 a missed grounder that I'd say was fieldable to be called a ball. Though Cooper Smith will probably rack that up as a hit in his book. Here's the first pitch now to Johnny Wall. Ball 1 a bit high. One. Good take from Wall just to try to open up the at-bat. Trying to see what Kraus can throw. Here is the 1-1. Ball 2 up high. Swing and a miss, 2-2 count. Wall staying alive here, but down to his last strike at the at-bat. Kraus, a right-hander from Wagner. 5.88 ERA for 41 innings. 35 strikeouts to 29 walks. Ball 3 here, full count to Johnny Wall. An interesting stat, surprisingly. He actually had more strikeouts, 35, than hits, 33. And that one tipped away. Johnny Wall staying alive. But now the pitcher from Rancho Santa Margarita, California, with a 3-2 payoff pitch. And Wall going with a walk. He held up in time. That is another free base for the Pioneers. They get a runner aboard. Now I do wonder whether the Pioneers might want to try to get that run manufactured. Tell Chmielewski to bunt. Tying run would be on deck should Chmielewski get aboard. He hasn't, but he does have the lone RBI for your Pioneers with a sacrifice fly back in the second. As it stands, Sokol would take the loss after 5 innings of work. So a little time to try to turn it around. We've seen 2 clean innings from Champa, 1 clean inning from Serrano. He's probably getting another afterward. Outside, I'd say for most umpires, that's pretty much a solid ball, but again, we've seen a pretty extended right side zone. It's been affecting both teams very much so. Oh, lefties really struggling with those inside pitches all night. That's something you just have to get used to as a lefty, reacting to that expanded zone. Here's the 1-0. This time, we see that one being a strike. So sometimes even the righties can get fooled by those. 1-1 count. Looking back at first. Now here's the pitch. Throw to first, back safely. Well, not picked off that time. It's a dark night, lights are on. You see a couple flies buzzing around, but you know that is because we are close to the Chemung River. Here's the 1-1. That one's in the dirt, ball 2. Pioneers, I think, doing a little bit better to work with patience. Vaughn on deck, and we know he's got a bit of power to his bat. And you know he'll be motivated after a hit by pitch. And oh, that one's going to go in and hit Chmielewski. 2 free runners for the Pioneers to bring up Janai Vaughn. And Vaughn, I think he's going to want to make it up to Coach Drum, Barber, Wilderman, and Brian Joe after getting picked off in his previous at-bat. 2 aboard now. And third base and the infield just going to come in for a quick impromptu meeting. So will the pitching coach. Just, I think, to settle Krause's nerves. And I have a feeling the pitching coach is going to tell Krause, listen, so third base can't get to the ball. SS goes deep into cutting it off. Where's the error? Well, third base, I think, missed the first grab on that before. I'm going to have to look it over. I think that was a play where you could say third base could get to the ball. It is pretty borderline. Here's Vaughn up. Vaughn's going to ground that sharply to short. That's picked up. And that'll be a fielder's choice. As Vaughn is safe, that preserves the no-no. And a fielder's choice also could have been an outcome for the Cooper Smith play. Was late. Don't really know, though. That will get the first out, but runners now at the corners. Berube comes up with 2 aboard. Berube now the tying run. Play resumes. Stressful situation here. Tarp Skunks do have the lead, but again, one swing of the bat can really shake things up. Also, we're seeing Vaughn get pinch ran for. Mandler comes on as the pinch runner. So the Pioneers definitely going to look to the base path here. Now, I wonder, I have a feeling Mandler's going on this pitch if there's no pickoff. And the question is, if you're Davis, do you hold it and make sure the runner on third doesn't go home, or do you try to get him at second? Mandler stays, ball 1. But having a pinch runner can definitely get the pitcher thinking, and I have a feeling they want to play mind games here against Kraus. No one warming up in the bullpen for the Tarp Skunks. They're definitely trusting Kraus, potentially this inning or even the rest of the way. That one's strike 1. I have a feeling Mandler might go here, because again, Ball might be able to sneak home if they do try a pickoff throw. He's just got to run 90 feet before the throw gets back. We've seen multiple runs being scored that way, whether it comes off an errant throw from a catcher or just very good timing. Pickoff attempt at first, Mandler back safe. Also not surprising to see Kraus attempt a pickoff there. There's another. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Wall takes a larger lead or even gets ready and running on one of those pickoffs. Because, again, he could also try to beat one of those throws if it's not as cleanly over to O'Shaughnessy. 1-1. That was inside, ball 2. Good patience here, drawing a longer at bat. Berube so far, hit by pitch and flew out, 0 for 1. His only hit gave an RBI. Two 2-1. That one's going to be grounded. Gets down in the field, over to short, throw to first in time. But it's an RBI here. 4-2 ball game. Nearly grabbed by Kraus. It gets past him. Runner to second. Berube out at first. Wall safely home. Olsavsky comes aboard now with 2 away. Runner on second. Olsavsky now the tying run. Four outs to go with the Pios 1 run closer. They've already done the job they wanted to. That one's high, gets away, running to third, and going to be safe is Mandler. The pinch runner now 90 feet from the plate with 2 out. 1-0 count. Pioneers leaving it late. They get our first run home since the second, and now another run 90 feet away. They'd like to get that deficit all the way down to 1. What can Olsavsky do? One 0. in the dirt, ball 2. Bear on deck. The heart of the order could be due up next inning, or maybe even this inning for the Pios as they try to come back. Wasowski fouls that one back. 2-1. For Joe Wasowski. That one outside, ball 3. Chris Bear on deck. He could get the tying run on first with 2 away. If Wasowski can get a walk here. 3-1 count. Kraus. I think he finally gets a sign. Strike 2, that one landing in the zone. Payoff pitch coming up for Wasowski. And I'd say it was a good take there. You got to be cautious on a 3-1 count. And with 2 outs, you want to try to get a pitch you like. And this is going to be the toughest, I'd say, pitch of the game so far. 3-2. And we're not talking about no hitters. We're just talking about tying run, trying to avoid getting on base and cutting the deficit to 1. Wasowski fouls that one off. Still a full count. Runner on third. And ball 4. He didn't go. They check and he's safe. Wasowski keeps the inning alive. He gets aboard. Here comes Chris Bear with 2 on. That runner on first. He's the game tying run. 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th. Bear 0 for 1 today, but he's drawn 2 walks. The only 2 walks he's had all season. On deck, he'd have Frank Wayman, so I know he wouldn't mind walk number 3. A little bit of pressure on Kraus. He needs 1 out, but he hasn't been able to get it just yet. Swing and a miss. Strike 1 gets ahead of Chris Bear here. Chris Bear, one of, as they so-called, Necco boys from North Essex Community College. They had gone 41-2 in the regular season. Incredible season from them. And it's also been a place where quite a few Pioneers have played in the past or come from as well. Take a look at Joe Muzio. Before heading to Eckerd, there's a stolen base attempt. He is safe. And just making sure that no one's running from third is Thompson. But there, Wasowski gets into scoring position. Third and second here. 2 away. A hit would tie the game. If the Pioneers can find their first hit of the game will be tied because Wasowski's running on contact. Mandler's going to be running on contact. And with 2 outs, they're going to. Here's the 1-1. Outside ball 2. Bear getting ahead again. Wasowski again taking a little lead, making sure he doesn't get picked off. Now that would be the anticlimactic way this inning would end. Thank you again, Salins. $1 hot dog night here at Dunfield. 2-1. Let's crank it up. On a swing and miss. Final strike. Kraus could get out of this jam. Dunfield staying loud. 2 outs. Two count. Bottom of the 8th. High. Ball 3. Good take from Bear. On deck, Frank Wayman. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Tying run on second. What can Chris Bear do? Full count, payoff pitch. Kraus and Bear, how will this battle end? Swing and a miss, the inning's over. Bases stranded, loaded. Bottom of the 8th is done. 1 run comes home, but the bases stranded. Wayman, Marsh, and Cooper Smith, the best batters for the Pios, will be due up, but that is an incredibly painful inning. And with the work there, they do preserve the no-hitter. Top of the 9th coming up. Serrano back on the mound. Top of the 9th underway here at Dunfield. Leading off for the Tarp Skunks is Davis. Smith and Thompson also due up this inning. Serrano looking to get it, keeping it like this, entering the 9th. That's 0-1. 1-1 just on that corner, but outside. Strike 2 there. That one right down the middle. Good breaking ball. That one's going to be driven, but foul. Count remains 1-2. Two. Good take there. Davis, 1 for 3 with a single. He would ultimately get caught up in a double play. Grounded over to third. Gets by Muzio. Bounces off Olsovsky. And he's just going to stay 1. Not enough time to get to second there. Runner on, no one out. Smith comes up. Oh, and by the way, I was looking back at that play back in the 7th. As that one's going to be popped up, should be out number 1 as Muzio gets under it. It was a slow enough ball to third that it should have been an out from him. So I definitely think error was the right call on that. Definitely borderline but again, it was a slow enough ball that I think you do just say was on third. Not like the previous play, which was a hit. Thompson up with one away now. But yeah, I was looking over that again. Shortstop going deep would probably be closer to a fielder's choice than a hit. Error on third, not on short, if I had said that at first. That one's going to be driven, but foul again. Muzio tracking it, but no. Despite his best efforts, he's not going to get to that. Instead, just says hi over to the Tarp Skunks dugout. 0-1 count. Double play opportunity. 0-1 count. Now one gets away. Runner goes. Throw from Berube. They can't get him. He is safe. Runner on second. Double play situation, I think, gone at this point. 1-1 to Thompson. Swing and a miss, strike 2. One, two. Fouled away. Thompson staying alive. It's 1 for 3 with a single that he scored from. Line scores again, 4-7-2 after that hit earlier from the Tarp Skunks. 2-0-1 for the Pioneers. They've generated offense, but just not enough. Bases loaded. Chris Bear struck out. That's why it's still a 4-2 ball game. Outside, ball 2. That one's popped up. Berube trying, but it's very foul. In fact, that's a roof souvenir. 2-2. That one's fouled off again. Thompson just drawing a long at bat here. Still in the top of the 9th. Jamestown leading against Elmira. Elmira still has a chance to come back in the bottom half. Kevin Serrano just looking to keep things quiet. He's got a 2-2 count with 1 away, but 1 runner on. No one warming up, so I have a feeling that Kraus got the call for the 9th inning for the Tarp Skunks. Outside, ball 3. Thompson really drawing this long at bat. For the season, Thompson, he's only got 1 hit entering the game. He's already improved that to 2. Alongside that, he's now hitting 2 for 12 on the season. Trying to get that up to 3. That would put him at a 3 for 13. Pickoff throw, gets to the outfield, but Cooper Smith under that immediately. Good reactions from Smith just to make sure the runner couldn't get there. That one's popped backward, another roof souvenir. This at-bat continues. This reminds me of that really long at-bat last time that we saw from O'Shaughnessy that had to send me ducking with a foul ball. A lot of balls fouled away, and it's here in the top of the 9th with 1 out. Got a runner in scoring position, but you do also have some dangerous outfielders. We know Marsh has a cannon. He can try to get people out from left. Cooper Smith definitely has been able to help as well, keep runners at bay. Runner goes. Throw to third. And no, he couldn't hold on to the ball, so he gets a stolen base, but he does. Serrano comes up with the 2nd out of the inning. That was close, and Muzio, I think, was trying to say he got the tag off. But I think as coaches are learned earlier, he really can't argue with Town Hall on that one. City Hall on that one, so 2 away. Runner now at 3rd. But he is 1 out away from just keeping another clean inning. Strano looking to have his best relief appearance of the season. Good for Kevin. Trying to get it to the 2-run deficit to the 9th. That's not impossible for the Pios to come back. Be a little bit tricky. But if anyone can do it, this Pios certainly can. Strike 1. Ooh. That one just on the outside corner. Frazier up. 2 away. For the day, he's 0 for 1 with 2 walks. Ball 1, that time just a bit outside. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 1 strike away from ending the inning. Kevin Serrano has really settled in here. And even though he's got that runner looming at 3rd, he's just 1 strike away from retiring the side. Swing and a miss. We're going to Last Chance Saloon. 4-2 lead for the Tarp Skunks. They can't get anything on 1 hit this time around. 1 runner left aboard. We'll be back bottom of the 9th right after this. Bottom of the ninth, last chance saloon for your Elmira Pioneers. Trailing by 2, they just need to get some offense going. The good news for Pioneers fans, Frank Wayman, Bobby Marsh, Cooper Smith due up, and if one of those get on base, we'll probably see Joe Muzio. So the heart of the Pios order coming up here. Tarp Skunks also looking for something special. They're entering the game not just with a 2-run lead. They've got a no-no in the books. It would be combined between 3 men. Galadas after 5 innings. Johnson after 2 innings. And Kraus is coming on for his 2nd inning. Serrano was able to complete his 2nd inning of clean work as well for the Pioneers. Now we're going to see what Frank Wayman can do. Empty bullpen for the Tarp Skunks. It's going to be up to Kraus. Team on his back. For Wayman, same situation. Ball 1, just a little bit high. Dunfield getting excited. The most stressful 3 outs of the game are here. Bottom of the 9th. This is where heroes are made for your Pioneers. Ball again. Frank Wayman getting ahead. Tying run would be on deck. Two to Wayman. I think this is an automatic take. Strike 1, getting that outside corner. Dunfield getting loud. 2-1. Strike 2, just getting on the outside. 2-2 to Frank Wayman. Marsh on deck, Cooper Smith after. Muzio hoping for a chance. Two. That one inside, ball 3. Full count for Frank Wayman. Payoff pitch coming up. 3-2. Let's crank it up. Just give you the sounds at Dunfield. And Frank Wayman gets aboard. Draws the walk. Bobby Marsh is the tying run for the Pioneers. If he can just get home, this game will be tied. The Pios comeback, which has been in the books, could be complete. Bobby Marsh had 6 home runs last season as a Pio. If he got his first one of the season here, he would get this game to 4-4 with no outs. Outside ball 1, Marsh getting ahead. Obviously, Marsh, he's got to be careful that inside pitch. It's been being called a ball on or strike all night for those lefties, whether it's him and Frank or any of the Tarp Skunks, because again, it has been very bad for those guys too. Here's the 1-0. That one, low corner, strike 1. Bobby, even count. He's got a runner aboard, and he knows he's got some consistent players on deck. Cooper Smith, and at this point, barring double play, Joe Muzio would get a crack. Applause, trying to cheer up Bobby from Dunn Stadium. Oh, actually, that was called... I don't know whether that was strike 1 or ball 2. I have to see what the count is here from the umpire. I still think it's 2-1. No, it's 3-0. So Bobby Marsh, 3 straight balls here. We could get the tying run aboard and potential winning run at the plate. .3-0 for Marsh. And this is an auto take. That one is strike 1. Count goes 3-1. And again, this is a really tough pitch for Marsh. Is Marsh going to be able to get aboard again? He hasn't yet. He's had 3 outs in play in his previous at-bats. Marsh gets that. Gets down. The no-no is broken. Wayman rounding second, heading for third. Wayman, runners at the corners. Bad news for the Tarp Skunks. Their no-hitter's dead, but Bobby Marsh comes in clutch with a single to get Wayman to third. Tying run on first. Cooper Smith at the plate. So tough for Jamestown. 8 no-hit innings. It ends on 1 swing of the bat from Bobby Marsh. But runners at the corners. Pios comeback still very much on. No one out. Cooper Smith up here. He nearly had a hit earlier. It was ultimately ruled third baseman error. Can Cooper Smith try to tie this game or put it closer for Muzio? No double plays. We might also see Wall come in unless he's going to get pinch hit for. I don't think so. Muzio on deck. That one in the dirt. Marsh heading to second, but not risking that runner at third. Tying run in scoring position. Runners in second and third for Cooper Smith. He would be the winning run. Marsh the tying run. 1-0 count. It's up to Kraus. No one warming up for the Tarp Skunks. And strike one, that one down the middle. That was a very easy call for the umpire. Here are a couple groans, but that was definitely strike one. No debate there. 1-1 count for Cooper Smith. What can Smith do? He's been given a present from the team, a belated gift of 2 aboard with no one out. Can he capitalize? That one's strike 2, just breaking in the zone, fooling Cooper. Still no outs. Not the worst situation in the world if he strikes out. But again, I know that Coach Drum watching from those sidelines, I could say probably Coach Billy now. I think he's now the head of command here. Very weird to see that work. Barber was also tossed afterwards as well. 1-2. Cooper Smith. Strike 3. Cooper Smith goes down looking. Tough call. It was low, but just hung in the zone. Here comes Joe Muzio. 1 out. Joe's the winning run. Marsh on second. He's a tying run. If Joe can just bring Bobby Marsh home, we might see extras. And geez, I'll have to get another score sheet out afterwards, potentially. Someone warming up for the Pios just in case. It looks like it might be Xander Birch. No, it's a righty. Hairstyle tricked me. But can Joe Muzio get the Pios back in it? On deck is Wall if he can't. And they're going to have a pitching conference really quickly. He got the first out. I think he wants to settle him down. The Pioneers, after starting 0 for 5, had a good run of form. Out of their previous 5 games, they went 4-1. Previous games in the league, 3-1. Coming off 1 loss in the league, 1 win against Mansfield in Interleague. But again, they've definitely improved. They're looking to climb the leaderboard. They're still in the lower parts of their division, but a win here, they could make this comeback happen. It would take just 1 swing of the bat. He could do it. And they're just talking it over. We had a no-no entering the 9th, but Bobby Marsh ended it with a hit into no man's land, which means the combined efforts from Gladys, Johnson, and Kraus won't get them a combined no-no. That's the type of treasure we'll see another day. But here's Joe Muzio. Muzio, he's 0 for 2, but he did score the first run back in the second after he got on base via a walk. What can Joe do this time around? Joe needs to be patient, needs to work. He's got some strong batters behind. Wall on deck, Shimoleski as well. They both could have chances here, depending on what happens. We know for the fact, though, that Muzio's got his chance. And strike one. That's just that tough inside pitch again. And I think if you're a lefty with this umpire, you got to just take a step back and let that natural zone fill out a little bit more. I think Muzio could be an extra step back here. Very easy to choke you up here with those inside calls. 0-1 now to Muzio. Come on, Joe. Let's see. 0-1. Fouled away. 0-2. Muzio, 6 strikeouts this season. This would be one of the worst times to get number 7. Wall's gotten on base twice with walk and error, but Muzio could argue is just a slightly better hitter. Can Muzio keep this going right here? See the crowd getting loud. 0-2. And just pulling away again. To Muzio, 1 away. Swing and a miss. That goes in the dirt. Runner going home. Play at the plate. Not in time. Tying run. Throw to third. No. Safe. He's safe at third. A close play at third. So what just happened in that play? I'll tell you. Muzio struck out. 2 away. Wayman got home. Marsh got to third. There's going to be a talk about it, but the tag I don't think was made in time. Muzio's efforts not in vain, as the strikeout in the dirt got a runner to third. And they're talking it over. I don't think he got that tag in time. Either way, it's a 4-3 game. Is there 2 outs, or is there 3 outs? They're deliberating. That was a risky attempt there from Marsh. And no, he got out at third. And Wildman upset. He's yelling at them. Dunfield not liking it. And that's a shame. And the most hated men in Elmira tonight will be those umpires. The Tarp Skunks win in a nail-biter. 4-3 victory. And a very questionable call. Was definitely a close play with Marsh. They overturned that call, but just a tough night. I don't know what to think of it. I'll give you the final line scores, though, and log off for y'all. 4 runs on 7 hits and 2 errors for the Tarp Skunks. 3 runs on 1 hit and 1 error for the Pioneers. Coaches will exchange good games, but just can't think there's a little sour taste in the mouth about what if on some of those calls. I don't know what to think of it. So thank you for watching. I'm Taylor Storthy, and we'll catch you tomorrow night. We're not going to be here in Dunfield, though. We're going to be in Newark as the Pilots face off against the Pioneers. And we'll be back in Elmira for the Geneva game. And then these two teams, which have had some pretty close games, some pretty interesting games, hear a little bit of umpire chaos, they'll face each other in Jamestown on Saturday. I hope to see you then. I hope to see you every game. I'm Taylor Storthy. Thank you for tuning in. Pios lose in a very, very close game.